Hi there, I'm Emma Kemp for Creative Expressions, and in today's video we're going to take a look at how I made this outside inside festive scene gatefold card. Okay, so to begin we're just going to make the base for the gatefold card. Now I only have A4 card, so I'm going to do mine in two parts. I'm going to have to stick the front panel to the back. If you had an A3 piece of card, then you'd be able to cut it in one clean piece. So here for me, out of A4, I've just cut half an A4 sheet of card, which is just shy of 21 centimeters that way and just shy of 15 centimeters that way. So you'd basically need double the width if you're going to cut it from A3, so roughly 42, doesn't have to be exact, 42 centimeters across. And then what you would do is you would score that quarter of a way across from the left and quarter of a way across from the right, and they will become your gatefolds that should meet in the middle. But for us, because we don't have A3, we've got to do ours in two parts. So what I've done is, like I say, cut half a sheet of A4, and then here I've just allowed two flaps on the side which I'm going to glue to the back to hold them in place. These are going to be my gates. I'm going to cut this down the middle in a second. This will be one gate and this will be the other. So it doesn't matter what size these flaps are, they're purely just for sticking. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to cut down the middle of this. Okay, so I've done that. So we've now got those in half. If I turn that over, you'll now see what I mean. I'm going to glue down here and stick that there to make one gate, glue down there, stick that, and that should make the other. And that way you've got them in the middle. Now, if you've ever made a gatefold card before, sometimes it can be difficult to get them to align in the middle. But the reason why this has come okay the first time is because when I folded and burnished this piece, I took this, I laid it out. Like I said, it doesn't matter what size the flaps are on either side. So I initially just made one mark on this side, scored, folded it. Once I had that in place, I then popped this piece of card back on here and then made my score line and burnished that. And the reason I do them one at a time is if you just pop this on here and just marked each side, I can pretty much guarantee you 9 times out of 10, when it comes to scoring it, it's not going to be quite right, and this will either not fit exactly, it'll either be too large slightly or too small. So doing them one at a time each side, folding and burnishing them, just means that you do get that meat in the middle. There you go. So you've got that perfect gatefold. What I've also cut for the base is 2 sheets. Again, this is just half of an A4 page. I've basically just cut a sheet in half of the dusky pink crushed velvet paper, and one of these are going to adhere to this back panel, and then this piece is going to be cut in half and it's going to adhere to the inside panel of the gatefold. If you imagine this is going to be the outside. So I'll show you this now. I'm going to glue it all down and you'll see what I mean. Right, so that's the panel done. As you can see, I've got a little bit of white top and bottom there, and when you fold it you can just see a hint of that. So that can just easily be trimmed off with your scissors, which is probably what I'm going to do now actually, just at least for this bit. I'm not so bothered about the white bits, but I don't want this bit showing through here. So there you go, because you're never going to get your measurements 100% perfect. I'm not too fussed about those bits of white showing, in all honesty, but yeah, you can definitely tidy that up. So that's there. On the back, you can see I made a bit of a mistake there when I stuck it down. What I will say when sticking it is that when you stick each side, make sure you've got it pushed. This bit of card that's going to stick on the flat, make sure you've got it pushed right up, buffered right up to that corner. I didn't do that when I first stuck my sides, and when I closed it there was a gap down the middle here, so I had to pull them off. As you can see, it doesn't matter because the back of this is going to be covered with a card base, so it doesn't matter how messy that is. But for the purposes of this video, We're going to pretend that isn't now. The next part, we're going to start adding the decoration to the inside panels. So first I've cut our opulent Christmas tree from our moss green crushed velvet papers, and that's that there. And then from our Merry Christmas circle from the Sentiment collection, I've cut 2 from moss green, and these are going to kind of act as little wreaths on the wall. And then I've cut 1 from honey and 1 from rose red. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to take my scissors and I'm just going to remove the centerpieces here. What I want these to act as is hanging garlands on the ceiling in the background, and I'll show you that in a second. So just cut that away, it's not needed. You can always keep that aside for something else, although then again maybe not, because the C isn't there. We're just left with those, and I'm just going to do this very, very roughly. They're probably not going to be exact. Just cutting those in half and cutting that in half. And what you'll get if we stick these down, so I want one of these stuck here. It's kind of like a wall wreath. One of these stuck here. This is going to go in the centre. I may need to double check where the centre is, because I do want to get that exactly centred. Actually, I can measure it by the gates. And then these are, let's just pop them behind, going to come in as ceiling decorations. That makes sense there. Bring that over a bit. Move that. So yeah, that's the gist of it. We're going to get that centered, which I can do by just popping a line in the middle here. I'm going to glue all of that with Jamie's clear drying glue, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that's our inside panel so far. Now we want to add our characters. So here is Father Christmas. I've stamped him, coloured him, and then die cut him with the coordinating die that comes in the set with the stamp set. I've not coloured this on screen for you guys. I'm very slow at colouring, and you would not have wanted to see that. You'd have fallen asleep. So there we are. We've got Santa there. Then we've got Mrs. Christmas from the Mrs. Christmas and Elves stamp and coordinating die set. And again, I've coloured her off screen and cut her with the coordinating die. I've cut one of the little gifts out from her set as well. And then we've got the elves. Now I've left these on the card intentionally because I just wanted to show you how easy it is to line these dies up. I'm going to zoom in a bit if I can, if my phone will allow me to. Okay, so this one is for the little boy elf. And some people prefer to die cut first and then colour. I prefer to do it this way. I just find this easier, colouring it in, and they line up so well. I mean, look at that. And then you're just literally going to add a little spot of tape, run it through, which I'm going to do now, and the same for Elfet. There we are. I'm going to run that through now and cut that. And there we are. That's them cut out for you. So they're going to be stuck here and here. And you can make this area a bit more busy if you want. You know, there's other little bits and pieces in their sets that you can add in, but I'm just going to pop these on either side. So I'm just going to glue all of that together and I will be back with you again. Okay, now I'm just going to come in with some adhesive gems. These are our 3mm rainbow set, and you get 1080 in this set. And I'm just very quickly going to pop these to decorate the tree. Okay, Okay, so there's your inside panel finish. We're now going to do the outside panels. We're coming in with this gorgeous image. This is from the new Snowy Scenes paper pack. There are a pack of 60 140 GSM sheets in this pack, 30 designs, single-sided, but we're going to be using this, and I'm just going to be cutting this down the middle. Okay, so here are both of those halves. Now what you want to do is you want to adhere it so that you've only got the border around the top, left and bottom. You want it to come up flush with that middle line exactly. And then once you've stuck one down, you want to get the next one to meet it at the same level on the opposite side. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so that's that part done. Now I want to add my sentiments. So we're coming in with one of the new edition stamp sets to our Cuddly Clan and Rodney's family, and this is Rebecca's Gift of Christmas. And we're going to use the Sending Winter Wishes sentiment and From Me to You This Christmas. And Rebecca, this is Rebecca, is part of the Rodney family. Super cute. So as you can see, I've just coloured her in here. So we are going to adhere her. We want to line her up in the centre, but we're only going to stick her on one side. So I'm actually just going to do this really roughly. I always end up regretting this afterwards because I don't measure things like I'm supposed to, but I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm going to say it's roughly around here. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I can always wipe some away if it's wrong. She says, make sure I've done it on the right side. I'm actually just going to pop, just to make sure I don't stick anything on that side. I'm just going to pop some paper under there while I do this bit. Just eyeballing and hoping. Oops, have a look. Didn't do a bad job. It's actually quite good. So there we are. There's Rebecca with her gift. So this is the completed card. You've got the lovely outdoor scene here showing Rebecca taking her gift over to the home of Father Christmas and Mrs. Christmas and the elves. And this is your indoor scene. Now I had to do a little bit of a fix job here because the back of Rebecca actually had stamping on it, and it looked a mess, so I had to die cut another Rebecca, cut her in half unfortunately, and just stick that on the back. So hopefully that's neatened that up. But that is the finished card. It looks very warm, welcoming and inviting. I think really cozy. So hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. I thank you for watching and hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.